Welcome back to Soccer Saturday Fan Zone. Let's reflect on Friday night football now, because it was a thriller, wasn't it, between Manchester United and Bournemouth, as Manchester United were twice pegged back by them. We can speak to United fan Chris now. You were on course for your 8th win in 10 under Michael Carrick, but you had to settle for a point. What went wrong in that game, do you feel?
Good afternoon, Vicky and Jay. What went wrong was simply the refereeing decision. I don't know why Manchester United were not given a second penalty. If you look at the foul that happened, it was actually more contact on Amad Diallo than there was for even the Harry Maguire one that came after that, and even the Cunha one before. So, yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit annoyed, but I'm still kind of optimistic there on course for the top 4 this season.
Chris, do you want me to be honest with you? I think both of them are soft.
Right. So
I think both of them are soft. But if you're going to give the first, if you're not going to give the first one, I don't understand how you can give the second one.
Yeah.
And especially send them off as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's that. I think if you either give both of the penalties or you don't give either one of them in regards to the Cunha and the Amad Diallo one. And then when you throw in the one that we conceded, it even makes it even worse. If you look there, Harry Maguire barely even touched the player in comparison to Amad Diallo, who got ushered to the ground, should I say, for want of a better word.
I mean, it's difficult when you see it again like that. I don't know. I know you both think it's soft, but I'm not so sure. You know,
Both of them.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I think both of them. I mean that.
You just drag him and push him and.
Okay, let's just. But what I'm saying is, I think if you're giving that one,
Here we are.
this one is just as bad. Look.
He grabs his arm. Watch, he grabs him there. He grabs him.
Like, I think both of them are very, very similar challenges. The only difference is obviously with Maguire's, the attacker's going through toward goal, which means obviously it has to be a red card because he's stopping a goal-scoring opportunity. But I'm looking forward to speaking to Dermot about that on Monday, because
But he's looking forward to speaking
I think
as well.
because the goalkeeper's coming out as well, is it an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? Because he might have smothered the player before he's had the shot. So I'm not sure about that. But I think both of them are a little bit soft to me. I mean...
But I will say this, though. The fact that you're angry, the fact that you had to share the points with Bournemouth, if we were rolled back the clock, you know, a few months, you'd have taken that. So it just shows where you are right now in terms of you are, you know, hanging on to that third place. And out of all the teams that are actually in those Champions League places, it looks like Manchester United actually want it the most. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Vicky, the motivational speaker. I love that. Positive spin on such a negative outcome.
Thank you.
That's what Vicky's all about, Chris.
I do agree. Yeah, we do.
Apart from when it comes to Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get me started on Liverpool. I'll get Luigi on here as well with me. But I think we're still on course for the top 3. I think, you know, Liverpool, looking at Liverpool, they're not in good form at the moment. Villa, hopefully Villa make the 4th position place. Obviously, I'm Birmingham born, Manchester United fan, yes or no, come at me fans. But I want Aston Villa to get the top 4 with us, and hopefully Liverpool and Chelsea miss out. But yeah, I definitely think Manchester United will get the 3rd place.
Chris, at this point, do you have to give the job to Carrick? Because obviously you need to prepare for next season as well. The World Cup is there. So you want someone in place, like, from now, really, that's going to start making decisions for next season, bringing players in and whatnot. Do you have to give him the job?
Not necessarily. I'm glad you brought this up, because I don't know if you guys heard what Roy Keane had to say on this. And he was talking more about there's elements that Carrick has done really well at the moment, but there is elements of the job that is not currently facing at the moment, which is, for example, our next game is on, April 13th, I believe, which is, nearly 3 weeks to go. You know, how would Carrick manage when we've got an FA Cup game, then we're away potentially to PSG in the Champions League, then we've got a game away at Anfield the next game.
But that's if buts and maybes, though, isn't it? It's like you can't judge him on things that he can't be judged on at the moment because you're not in those competitions.
And also, he was in a championship, right? And he did have that pretty much every week. And he was dealing with it. He had a Middlesbrough team that was doing really well.
He did, but what I would say is we all know Manchester United is a different beast, you know, and I'm not trying to overtalk where we are. We obviously know we've underperformed for the last decade, but, you know, the pressure that the players and the managers face at Manchester United is 10 times what it would be at Middlesbrough. And I think, just to touch on the Champions League, it is something that we have to kind of take into consideration. Yes, Carrick has done brilliant with what he's done so far, with the players, with the tactics, how he's recorded himself in interviews as well. However, he is going to have to face what Roy Keane said, player contracts. He is going to have to face, who gets extensions, and even more so what happens in the midweek.
Chris, let's just say the only manager out there that's really like big, world-class, that you could potentially get when he leaves, is Luis Enrique, right? You would probably look at him, big manager, big personality, won everywhere, right? Yeah. You've got to pay him the better part of 20 million a year, right? If it doesn't work out and you're giving him a 4-year contract on 20 million a year, and then you end up having to pay him off and then going back to Carrick to say, can you be our gaffer again? I don't understand that. I feel like it's a safer option to go with Carrick. I think Carrick's the right man for the job. I think it's a safer option for Man United financially and for where they are now to stick with Carrick and see where that goes. Because if you go to Enrique and do that part, you're going to end up going back to Carrick. And then will he want the job after you've sacked him?
Yeah, if he does a good job in Manchester United, he might not be available to get a job again. Someone else could snap him up, maybe Spurs in the Championship. But outside of that...
I know, it was a little dick.
I didn't mind that either. I like that, Chris. Spurs v Lincoln.
I had to flip that one in. But yeah, you are right. I think it is something where we have to make sure we're very careful with the decision. If I'm going to put my, sit up, get off the fence and throw my hat in the ring on it, I do think they probably would lean towards giving Carrick the job. I'm about 70% there where I think Ionos will go, and I think he will retain the position. But I do think that they will still shop around towards the end of the summer, the end of the season, and just see what we can do.
Might just upset the apple cart, though. All right, Chris, always good to get
Chris.
your thoughts. Thanks for
joining
us.
Mate.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
So 11 games unbeaten in the Premier League now, a joint best for Bournemouth, and they had to battle back on 2 occasions, Owen. Manchester United taking the lead the first time from the penalty spot. There are a couple of penalty incidents and we have a lot to get through. Was the first one the correct call for you?
Yeah, just a little bit of magic from Cunha. He's obviously, I think he wants to play in that little number 10 position, but he's good on this left-hand side. Can't believe he chests this, by the way. Honestly, that is a brilliant. And then this little skill to come in between the two, Jimenez and Scott, that is brilliant. And it's just, Jimenez has been terrific in a Bournemouth shirt. He's a young, naive defender, but that control is fantastic. Keeps it close. Wants to come inside. Scott can't overcover there, which he does. And you see Jimenez just pulling there, Gary. There's...
Yeah, I just want to come in from a defensive point of view. I couldn't believe he's made the decision to pull his shirt, to be honest. When he's in that situation, he's past him, he has to leave him, he has to rely on cover. And there was cover with James Hill there. So it was a gift from a Manchester United point of view, a real gift. And obviously, but you're very confident when Bruno steps up on a penalty spot and he tucks it away. But disappointing from the Bournemouth point of view. It's a little bit of ill-discipline there, I thought.
Yeah, that's 9 goal involvements for Bruno Fernandes at that point in 9 games against Bournemouth. Who else but him? It's 1-0 at that point. A bit of controversy around the equaliser. Let's take a look at it, because I think Manchester United thought they should have had a second penalty, and the goal comes soon after that. This is the moment, the incident. And the referee said no penalty on this occasion. Am I being pulled down?
Yes, I didn't think it was a penalty at the time, to be honest. And when I saw it back, I stick by my first thought. Gut instinct was it wasn't a penalty, and I don't think it was.
Yeah, and there's 25 seconds between that penalty call and appeal from United and the equalising goal from Bournemouth.
Yeah, Ryan was great on that right-hand side, comes inside. And to be fair, it's just a great finish from Ryan Christie. There's weaker right, he just passes it into the goal. We see Ahmad here with Truffert. He probably goes down too easy, Ahmad.
Yeah, there's not enough in that for me.
No.
There's not enough.
He kind of has a little pull, but he lets go. And I think, and on this one here, does really well. Ryan comes inside, plays it quickly. Casemiro, you see him come across. He's got Christie, but he gets out to the ball carrier, and nobody really fills in for him. Maybe Harry could step up, or Euro. They're a little bit too late, but take nothing away from the finish. In between the legs of Harry Maguire. See it here on this angle. you don't, and that's the thing, you don't need to smash it.
Yeah.
You know, just pass it into the goal. No chance for Lambs.
That was a quality in the goal, wasn't it? The pass. Just fed it through there and just put it into the bottom corner. But once Yoro's gone out there, I thought, go again. Do you know, he's closed that gap a couple of yards. He needs to close it a couple more yards to try and block the shot, but take nothing away from that finish. That was a brilliant finish.
Yeah, flurry of activity because there was to be a quick response from United, a third goal in the game in the space of 10 minutes. Let's look at how Bruno Fernandes once again gets involved.
Yeah, he's brilliant. To be fair, he's the one who played a brilliant ball up at the top for Ahmad for that potential penalty. But, I mean, they're so unlucky, Bournemouth, here, because I think the two centre-backs are involved. Kobbie Mainoo gets a little bump on the goalkeeper. I think Senesi initially flicks it, and then it comes off James Hill at the back. But he's just whipping it into a dangerous area, isn't he?
It's difficult to get out of the way of that. It's almost like like you said, the centre-back combining there in not so great manner. I think Harry Maguire was key in that as well. I think he was so physical. He was so physical against James Hill there, all the way to the very end, and then he just sees it too late. He can't get his head out of the way, and unfortunately for him and Bournemouth, it went in the back of the net.
Yeah, we did think that he was the one who scored the way he went off and celebrated.
He was trying to claim it, wasn't he?
But then definitely an own goal. Let's look at a moment here where you thought this was absolutely brilliant. I think it was Scott hitting the post.
Yeah, I just love how quickly he turns. You know, as it comes into him, he's turning, so checks his shoulder. That's exceptional. No chance for the goalkeeper, but he's just really unlucky. Great touch.
Look at the technique here as well.
Clear picture. Oh, it's
almost like that knuckleball. I mean, the goalkeeper very lucky. But like what Owen says, to find that pocket of space, it's a turn, touch out his feet and shot. It's all within 3 touches of the football, and that was very, very unlucky. What a strike that was.
Yeah, Bournemouth were to have another opportunity, and it came from the penalty spot. Let's look at the moment that led to it, and the red card for Harry Maguire as well. Did you agree with this?
First of all, the ball from Tavernier is brilliant, and he just gets caught wrong side. It's really good football from Bournemouth. They were much better in the second half. Played a lot of tight passes, and I think Harry just gets, Yor gets out there. Harry's just wrong side, forward passing, forward runs. I mean, it's obviously a foul and it's a penalty on Evan Nielsen. I'm not a fan of that being a red card. It's a red card because he's not playing the ball. But I think a penalty is enough of a punishment. I don't think there's any question that's a penalty.
I agree. But at the same time, I think the letter of the law is obviously if you don't attempt to play the ball, it's a red card. So by letter of the law, it's a red card. But I agree. Great play from Bournemouth's point of view, and it was all about that weight of pass into his feet and his first touch. It was a soft penalty for me, I've got to admit. I thought it was a really soft penalty. However, it was a penalty just, and it had to be a red card, obviously, after that.
Evan Nielsen took a great touch as well.
Fantastic touch.
Took it forward. Often you see people right-footed, they'll take it that way. But because he took it forward, it just
put more pressure on. If he takes the touch away, the defender gets a chance to go across and maybe put a block in slide tackle. The minute he takes the touch across him, he's done. He either leaves it or does what Harry did there and almost scrambling to get a feel of the player. And obviously a penalty was awarded, but it was a great first touch.
So there are 2 big incidents in the second half. This is one, Evan Nielsen, that we've been talking about, brought down by Harry Maguire. Maguire earns a red card and they give them a penalty. How does that compare to Ahmad just a couple of moments before that? I know Manchester United fans are sitting at home wondering why one was given and the other one wasn't.
Well, let's see him. I mean, obviously, we've just seen the Harry Maguire one and the Evan Nielsen. I think, truthfully, he has a little small pull, but Ahmad, I think he just goes down too heavily because there's not that much contact. So I think the difference is there's more contact from Harry Maguire and Evan Nielsen. And I don't think you need to overdo it. I think if he probably would have gone down a little bit more naturally, he might have had more of a chance. But again, I think the one from Truffert on Ahmad, I think it was soft. I didn't see it as a penalty.
And I think that obviously with the on-field decision, with the Harry Maguire situation being given and that not, I think that was a decisive factor, because if that was given, I don't think the VAR, from a Manchester United point of view, if that was given, I don't think the VAR would overturn that. So I think that was a key factor in it as well. Yeah,
the weight of the on-field decision is exactly what swung it, and there was not an obvious error, according to VAR. This is the moment from Ellie Jr. Krupi, the equaliser.
He's so lethal. Look at it. You cannot take a better penalty than this. Side netting, doesn't matter who's in there. Superman's not saving that.
And to come on as well and take the responsibility, you know, he started on the bench, he's come on and to take that responsibility, full of confidence, and obviously has an eye for goal.
He's brilliant. He really is. For a young man, He's just so calm. He's a brilliant finisher. He had a huge impact on the game when he came on.
Scored the equaliser twice now for Bournemouth against Manchester United, the top-scoring teenager in the Premier League. Let's get some more